Okay, so we talk about cryptanalysis or the that means how to attack the cryptographic scheme or cryptographic protocol. So basically, this is the other side of the coin. So far we have seen the design phase like cryptography. So basically, cryptography. So cryptology is logy has two parts. One is cryptography, so which we have talked about so far, which is basically this area deals with the cryptographic protocols, crypto system, RSA, ILGAMAL, AES, DA. So all the design techniques like design of the cryptographic protocol, and this is the attack or breaking the code. Breaking. So we have a cryptographic protocol. How we can attack that? So this area is called cryptanalysis. Cryptanalysis. So basically, cryptology is consist of cryptography and cryptanalysis. So cryptanalysis means the attacker. I mean the attack on the protocol. Okay, how we can break the code, how we can guess the key or the message sending between Alice and Bob. So all the type of job is done in this area, cryptanalysis, and the person who is doing this is called cryptanalyst, and that is named as Oscar. Okay, so that is the traditional name we use to denote a attacker, Oscar. Okay, so this is the so cryptanalysis is the other side of the coin. So this is the design phase, cryptography, and this is the breaking phase. So we start the cryptanalysis. So we talk about the models of cryptanalysis, attack models, especially on this. This is so attack models. Okay, so there are basically usually 4 types of model, but there are some combination of this type also. One is the known plain text attack, known ciphertext attack. So the Alice and Bob they are communicating over a public channel. So either by symmetric key encryption or by public key encryption, and the Oscar is having access to this. This is the public channel. And Oscar is having full access to this channel. Okay. It could be passively or actively. Passively means Oscar, passive attack means Oscar can only see what is being communicating, and actively means Oscar can change the communication. Okay, so this under this attack model means so Oscar knows the ciphertext. So the what is called ciphertext? Now Alice is the message Alice wants to send to Bob, that is called plain text or the message, and while it is encrypting to see either by symmetric key encryption or by public key encryption, this is called ciphertext, and it is being sent to Bob over the public channel. So this is called known ciphertext only attack. Known ciphertext only attack. So Oscar knows only the ciphertext. Okay. So this is more secure scenario. We are not giving any extra facility to the Oscar. Oscar is only have the access to this public channel, right, which is quite obvious to assume, because if we say that we will not allow Oscar to listen what is being communicating over public channel, that nobody will believe you. Okay. So your scheme should be secure at least under this model. Okay. The second one is so second one is known plain text attack. So the first one is known ciphertext only attack. Ciphertext. ciphertext on the attack. Okay, the second one is known plain text attack. Non plain text attack. So, in this attack model, Oscar knows some pair of plain text and the ciphertext. So, Alice and Bob, they are communicating over this public channel and Oscar is sitting here. Okay, so, in this known plain text attack means Oscar knows the third party or the adversary, Oscar is the adversary, Oscar knows some plain text and the corresponding ciphertext for some I is equal to 1 to k, suppose k many. So, Oscar knows some, maybe these are the old communication between Alice and Bob. So, we can send the history of these to Oscar. These are old communication, maybe 2 years ago they were communicating, I mean their message was like this. So, P1 plain text and the ciphertext. This has no much relevance now, I mean this is already being communicated 2 years ago. So, under this model Oscar knows or Oscar has given some, Oscar knows some pi and corresponding ci, I is equal to 1 to n, 1 to k, and the goal of the Oscar is to get the key. Key is not known, the secret key is not known. Okay. So, if it is symmetric key encryption, that symmetric key is not known to the Oscar. So, goal is to get the key, what is the k, and suppose Alice and Bob now communicating this P star and corresponding C star. Okay. This is the current message they are communicating. Current message Alice wants to send to Bob. So, Alice computes C star from P star, this is the new message, or to guess P star from C star, the new message. This is the new message or the current message they are communicating. This is the challenge to the adversary. Okay. And this third one is basically telling us chosen plain text attack. Chosen plain text attack. Okay. So, this is we are giving little more power to the Oscar adversary in the sense that the adversary can choose the plain text and can get the corresponding ciphertext without knowing the key. So, the Oscar can choose pi and can get the ci. So, that means this pi ci pair Oscar is having as many as. So, that means, so we are giving the encryption machinery to the Oscar temporary access. So, maybe, so this is the encryption algorithm, we can inbuild the key over here, key is not known to the Oscar, we are not giving the key to the Oscar, then everything is gone. But without knowing the key, we are giving the temporary access to the encryption machinery to the Oscar, so that Oscar can give a plain text and can get the corresponding ciphertext. Again another plain text and can get the corresponding ciphertext without knowing the key. So, that means this could be .exe file, encryption.exe, where we are keeping the key inbuilt. So, key is the if it is C code, then in the C code itself in the program .c file we will keep the key there. So, key will be not be asking in the runtime. So, only in the runtime we will be asking the plain text. So, we are giving that encryption machinery, temporary access of this encryption machinery to the Oscar, it could be software or it could be in hardware. So, that Oscar can choose a plain text and can get the corresponding ciphertext. Okay. So, this is the now what is the challenge of the Oscar? What is the goal of the Oscar? So, Oscar goal is to guess what is the key. Goal is to get the key k, or so, or now we stop the temporary access of this encryption machinery, or to guess what is P star from the C star, this, or guess P star from the C star. Okay. So, this is the P star is the now they are communicating. Okay. So, this is one model. So, here we are giving temporary access to the encryption machinery. Okay. Now, the fourth one is chosen ciphertext attack. Chosen ciphertext only attack. So, here we are giving the temporary access of the decryption machinery to the Oscar. So, we have the decryption function, say it could be DS decryption, key is inbuilt. So, Oscar can give a ciphertext and can get the corresponding plain text. Okay. So, we are giving the temporary access of the decryption machinery, temporary access, then we have to take it back, otherwise Oscar can give the new ciphertext and get the P star. So, we are giving the temporary access of this decryption machinery to the Oscar. So, what we are doing here, we are just key is inbuilt. So, Oscar can choose PI, I mean CI and can get the corresponding PI. So, Oscar knows this PI CI for some K. Now, the challenge of the Oscar is to get the key K, which is not known, and to now we stop this temporary access to this decryption machinery to Oscar. Now, Alice and Bob is communicating P star C star, and to guess P star from C star. Okay. So, this is the this is another model. So, this is more if we can claim that our crypto system is secured under this model, this is we are giving more power to the adversary. So, that means how powerful our adversary is, even though our scheme is secure. So, that is our goal. We are making our adversary more and more powerful. Okay. Now, there are some combination of these 4 model. So, those we are not going into details, but these are mainly 4 models. So, now we will talk about some generic attack on the crypto system, especially on block cipher. Generic cryptanalysis on say block cipher, or it could be done for stream cipher also. Let us start with block cipher. The first one is basically we know is the exhaustive search. Exhaustive search or the brute force method. So, what this we have already seen. Suppose we are Alice and Bob. Okay. So, suppose they are communicating over the public channel using the DES, and they agree with the common key, say 56 bits DES. So, it is 56 bit key. So, now they encrypt. So, Alice choose a message which is 64 bit, and then Alice encrypt this message using this K key. So, this is DS encryption and send it to Bob. So, Bob is receiving Y, and Bob is you apply an decryption algorithm to get back this message. Now, how we can do the exhaustive search on this block cipher DES? So, basically, so for that Oscar need to have a, so this is a non plain text attack. So, Oscar is having P and C, this is known. So, this is a non plain text attack. Oscar is having a plain text and the corresponding ciphertext, but Oscar is not knowing the key. So, now the challenge of the Oscar is to get the key. If once Oscar get the key, Oscar can get the new message. So, for that what Oscar will do? Oscar will try for all possible keys. So, this is the key space. Okay, so Oscar will try for, so if it is made by DS, so Oscar will try for all possible keys. So, Oscar will choose a key from here, the Ki, and Oscar will encrypt this P and get a Ci, and Oscar will check whether this Ci is basically C or not. If it is C, if Ci is C, then Ki is the key, because we know this pair. So, this is a non plain text attack, we know this pair. Okay. So, this is basically exhaustive search attack or the brute force attack. So, this way we have to search for all possible keys in the key space. So, the time complexity is basically the depending on the size of the key space. If it is DS, then 2 to the power 56 into time for DS encryption. If it is 1 second, then this many seconds. So, this is huge, but we know there are some attack using the parallel processing. If we have many processors, then this can be reduced by the parallel processing, and this type of attack we have seen. So, this is the exhaustive search attack, and this is the generic attack. Generic in the sense, here we are not using any information about the how this DS is designed. We are not looking inside the block cipher or inside the cipher. We are just, we need to have just to know the key size, this 56 bit. So, instead of DS, if it is some other cipher like Saurabh cipher, and which is having key size 56 bit, then also we can mount this attack by similar way. So, that sense it is generic attack. That means, this attack idea can be mount for any block cipher which has same key size. So, we are not looking into the inside design of this cipher, we are just looking into the key size. So, that sense it is a generic attack. Okay. So, anyway, so now we will talk about another generic attack which is called table lookup attack. So, yeah, table lookup. So, basically under this attack, it is also generic attack. Under this attack we have two phases. One is, so basically what we have to do, this is basically this attacking, this is basically inverting a one way function. What is a one way function? Let us define a one way function. One way function, suppose f is a function from a to b. So, this is A set, this is B set, it is a mapping basically. So, if you take a x over here, then this is f of k, this is basically y, okay, or we can denote this by x, this is basically f of x. So, one way means this part it is easy, given a x we can easily, so if given x, it is easy. Again, easy is a vague sense, easy means computationally feasible. So, we do have a polynomial time algorithm to compute this. Easy to compute f of x. Okay. So, one way it is easy, but the other way it is hard. So, given a y which we know it is basically f of x, this way it is hard, this is hard, but this must be easy. So, given a y, it is hard to invert. Given a y which is basically f of x, it is hard to, computationally hard to get x. So, that is the one way function. So, one way it is one way. So, this forward direction it is easy, but backward direction it is tough. So, every cryptographic protocol is basically one way function, like if we consider a block cipher. So, this is basically a block cipher is basically we have say n bit to, so if it is a n bit block cipher, so we have a k bit key. So, block cipher is basically function from, so this is basically function from plain text space, key space to ciphertext space. Okay. So, we take a message from the plain text space, it take a key from the, so it will, so basically it is basically E of m comma k will give us C. So, it is a coming from plain text space, it is coming from key space, it is C. Okay. Now, if we fix a plain text, let us fix a plain text m p from the plain text space. This is p, you can just write convention. Okay. So, then this p is fixed. Now, this is a function from, so then EP is a function from key space to the ciphertext space. Okay. So, this function is a one way function, this we defined by f. Now, key space and ciphertext space may be different size. Okay. So, this is function from key space to the, so this is key space. So, this is a known plain text attack, ciphertext space. Okay. So, here what we have? We have a key. So, this is a plain text is fixed. So, we have a key and then we basically apply. So, f of k is basically E of p comma k. So, p is fixed. So, this is a function of on k. So, this is basically f of k. So, this is a ciphertext C. So, this way it is, this is a one way, because this should be easy, because otherwise this our block cipher won't be popular. So, this is just encryption algorithm of the block cipher, but this way it is hard, because if we have a ciphertext, then to get back this key is basically breaking the block cipher under the known plain text attack. So, that is hard. So, basically this is a one way function, f is a one way function. So, now the question is how we can attack this. So, by table lookup method. So, we have seen one attack by exhaustive search, generic attack, another attack is by table lookup. So, we will do something in the p processing step, so offline step. So, if you have time, so we can do something. So, this has two steps, one is offline, another one is online. So, yeah, so table lookup. So, one is it has two steps, offline, or this is also called pre-processing phase or offline phase, and another one is online attack. Okay. So, what we do at the offline, So, at the pre-processing phase what we do, we compute the, so basically we are converting this function. So, we have a function a to b. So, this is key space, this is hypertext space, we have x and this is f of x. So, the question is we have given a y, we need to get back x. So, that is the challenge. So, what we do, we make a table. So, we will choose all possible keys k1 and we get f of k1, k2, f of k2. So, k, if the key size is say depending on the size of the key, if it is km or n, say capital N, it is basically f of kn. So, if it is ds, then n is 2 to the power 56. Okay. So, in the table what we do, we store this k, k1 and this f of k1 pair. So, ki f of ki like this, kn f of kn pair like this. Okay. So, now this is for all k's we are doing. So, we have a huge memory. So, we are storing this. So, this is we are doing offline phase, and online phase what we have. So, this is the online phase, we have a ciphertext, this is non-plain text attack. We have a ciphertext y or basically c, which is basically fp of, I mean ep of basically f of k, but we do not know the k or k star. So, what we do, we have this c. So, if we store this in the sorting order of these endpoints, these points, then we can search it, we can do the binary search on this c. So, suppose this is some kl f of kl, say. Now, suppose this is matching with c, then we can get the key, then kl is our key. So, this is just a table lookup attack. So, we will just search for our this y or c into the table. Now, we know all the keys are there. So, it has to be matched with one of this. Then once this matching is done, so we take the corresponding key as our the key. So, this is the attack, but here we need to have the storage. So, because this table has to be stored, and this is, but online phase we are not doing anything, we are just doing the table lookup. So, if it is just binary search, it is logarithm time, okay, log of n time, capital N time, which is very faster. So, online search less time, but we are having, we need to have huge memory, because to store this whole table. So, now there are some technique which we can trade off between the time and this space. So, that is called time memory trade off attack, which we will discuss in the next class. Thank you.